Hello friends, good afternoon to all of you. It's our third lecture on NMR spectroscopy. In this presentation, I have covered almost all important points related to our syllabus. Then our first question is that how are spectra created? So friend, as we know that spectroscopy is nothing but the interaction of electromagnetic radiation to the molecules, and that molecule can absorb some amount of the energy and emit some radiation. That emission spectra or that emission is recorded in the form of spectra. So let's consider that the proton and the nucleus is like the magnet. The compass needed align with the earth magnetic field and point north. Nuclei behave like a tiny magnet similar to a compass needle. Then look toward that this is the north and it's the south pole. The needle will swing back as soon as the energy is removed. When energy is put in, the needle can be made to align in a direction opposite to the earth's magnetic field. So friend, each and everything is correlate with the energy, isn't it? When energy put, it will be aligned. When energy is removed, it will be needle swing back. So look toward this. When we put the nucleus in the external magnetic field, that time what happens? The electron is absorbed some molecule and goes into the excited state. When an external magnetic field is applied, hydrogen nuclei can align with the external field or against it. As nuclei relax back to the low energy alignment, energy in the radio wave frequency is released. This energy is detected and recorded as peak on the spectrum. Now, here is the given thing that nucleus align opposed to magnetic field high energy, isn't it? When nuclei is opposed to the magnetic field, and when nucleus align with the magnetic field, we show the low energy. Then the next point is very important, that is the chemical shift. Chemical shift is denoted by delta, is usually expressed in parts per million by frequency, because it is calculated as delta sample is equal to new sample minus new reference into new reference, new for the frequency, into 10 raised to 6, that is the ppm. It is absolute resonance frequency of the sample, and reference is the absolute resonance frequency of a standard reference compound measured in the same applied magnetic field B0. Since the numerator is usually expressed in hertz and the denominator in megahertz, delta is expressed in parts per million. Okay, you should understand that chemical shift is denoted by delta and expressed in hertz. The induced magnetic field. The electron around a nucleus will circulate in magnetic field and create secondary induced magnetic field, isn't it? This field opposes the applied field as stipulated by Lenz's law, and atoms with higher induced field are therefore called shielded. Means what? The field opposes the applied field as stipulated, means whatever the electron is create the magnetic field which opposed to the magnetic field is known as shielded. Related to those with lower electron density, the chemical milia of an atom can influence its electron density through the polar effect. Then next point is very important, that is the electron donating alkyl group, for example, lead to increased shielding, while electron withdrawing substituents such as halogen group lead to de-shielding of the nucleus. So friend, in simple word, I just told to you that the electron withdrawing group pull electron toward itself, and therefore which can show the de-shielding effect, and the electron donating group shows the shielding effect. Not only substituent cause local induced field, bonding electron can also lead to shielding and de-shielding effect. A striking example of this is the pi bond in aromatic benzene. Current through the hyperconjugated system causes shielding effect at the molecule's center and a de-shielding effect at its edges. Trend in chemical shift are explained based on the degree of shielding or de-shielding. Means in aromatic benzene ring there is a two type of the electrons and the types, that is a pi electron system and also the hyperconjugation, and therefore shielding and de-shielding effect is based on inner side and edge of the aromatic ring. The next point, nuclei are found to resonate in a wide range to the left of the internal standard when signal is found with a higher chemical shift. The applied effective magnetic field is lower if the resonance frequency is fixed. The frequency is higher when applied magnetic field is normal. The nucleus is more de-shielded. The signal or shift is downfield or at low field or paramagnetic. Conversely, a lower chemical shift is called diamagnetic shift and upfield and more shielded. So friend, you should be remember that the more shielded having upfield effect and diamagnetic, and de-shielded having a downfield or low field is which are the paramagnetic in nature. So friend, these are the anisotropic effect. Here I just explained by using the example. Anisotropic induced magnetic field effect are the result of local induced magnetic field experienced by a nucleus resulting from circulating electron that can either be paramagnetic when it is parallel to the applied field or diamagnetic when it is opposed to it. It is observed in alkene where the double bond is oriented perpendicular to the external field with pi electron, likewise circulating at right angle. The induced magnetic field lines are parallel to the external magnetic field. Look toward that. B0 is the external magnetic field, isn't it? And the circle which is parallel to the external magnetic field at the location of alkene proton, which therefore shift downfield to 4.5 ppm to 7.5 ppm range. The three-dimensional space where a diamagnetic shift is called a shielding zone with a cone-like shape aligned with the external field. So friend, the movement is shown for both the hydrogen in a circular path and which are the parallel to the external magnetic field, and therefore it shows the downfield, that is the 4.5 ppm to 7.5. Acetylene molecule. Acetylene molecule are planar in nature. Alkyne proton by contrast resonance at high field in 2 to 3 ppm range. For alkynes, the most effective orientation is the external field is parallel with electron circulating around the triple bond. In this way, the acetylene proton are located in the cone-shaped shielding zone, hence the upfield shift is showing for that protons. In case of benzene ring, the proton in aromatic compound are shifted downfield even further with the signal for benzene is 7.73 ppm as a consequence of diamagnetic ring current. So friend, this is the denotation for the upfield and downfield proton in alkene, acetylene and benzene ring. So chemical shift in short, In NMR, chemical shift is usually expressed in ppm. It represents the difference of measured frequency in part per million from the reference frequency. The reference frequency depends on the instrument's magnetic field and the element being measured. It is usually expressed in megahertz. Typical chemical shifts are rarely more than a few hundred hertz from the reference frequency. So, chemical shifts are conveniently expressed in parts per million. Parts per notation gives a dimensionless quantity that does not depend on the instrument field strength. So, friend, look toward this graph is just represent upfield and downfield. The chemical shift value of most proton lies to the left of TMS peak within a range of 0 to 10 ppm. This is the NMR graphical representation. 0 to 10 ppm value is generally used for this. Sometime higher than 10 is also shown by some kind of the proton. TMS is called tetramethylsilane, is added to the solvent and provided a reference peak. The proton in TMS are assigned the value 0 ppm and the rest of the spectrum is calibrated relative to that TMS peak. TMS peak we got at 0 ppm. Then the scale run from right to left is called the chemical shift. Always remember, right to left. Okay. It is measured in parts per million. Peaks to the left of TMS peak are said to the downfield TMS, isn't it? The left side peaks is known as downfield. Downfield means higher delta value and upfield means lower delta value. Always remember that. Then proton environment. The compound, the proton are bonded to other atom and so there are more electron in the region of the proton. These electrons affect the external magnetic field experienced by the proton. The energy gap between high and low energy state will be slightly different. The frequency of radiation emitted as the nuclei relax back to the low energy state will also be different. Proton emitting radiation of the same frequency are said to be in the same proton environment. So friends, to understand the environment of proton is very important. How many proton environment are there in the ethanol? Now look. There are the 3 proton environment. The 3 methyl means CH3 proton are in one environment. The 2 methylene proton are in one environment and 1 hydroxy group proton are in one environment. How to prepare the sample? To obtain the H1 NMR spectrum of a sample, it is usually necessary to dissolve the sample in a solvent. Solvent must not contain protons that will interfere with the sample being measured. A solvent must contain no hydrogen atom. Example, tetrachloromethane or CCl4 is like this. Have the hydrogen atom replaced with deuterium like a CdCl3 or CD3OD. Interpreting low resolution 1H NMR spectra. Point to note, each peak in a low resolution spectrum represents one proton environment. Okay. The type of proton environment can be identified by looking up the chemical shift in a correlation table. The area under the peak relates to the number of proton in the environment. Example 1. This is the ester. Okay. there is the two type of the proton, and two type of the proton we have got the two peaks, one peak near 2 and second peak near the 3.8. Then this is the detail. The area under the peak gives information about how many protons are in each environment. Okay, area under the peak, and the area is given as the integration curve, and height of the curve can be measured. So friend, it's very important that how many protons are present, it's depend on the area under the peaks. By comparing height of the integration curve, we can determine the ratio of proton in each environment. So we are also able to find out the ratio of the proton. Here is the some problem. It is helpful to lay out your interpretation in table. 2.1 and 3.8 is a peak shift, integration height 30-30 and ratio 1:1. High resolution. High resolution spectra are run using a higher radio frequency and the peak have more detail. Compare the spectra below for methyl propanoate. We will be get that. Now look toward that. It is a low resolution NMR for methyl propanoate. There is the three type of proton, therefore we will be get the three peaks. But friends, when we take its higher resolution, we will be get the singlet, triplet and so on. The spectrum in for pentane 3 ONE. Okay, means there is a 5 carbon and at third carbon C double bond O group. The peak shows that there are two proton environment. Can you assign this peak to the structure? Yes. This is the structure. Okay. Then this CH2 group are the same environment. Therefore, we will be get the such a type of the peak, and which is attached to the carbonyl group. Carbonyl group is electron withdrawing group, and therefore it shows the downfield, and the methyl group is like this. So it is a high resolution. When the spectrum is expanded, it can be seen that each peak is made up of number of peaks. These are called multiplets, and this is the multiplets. This CH2 group can combine with the 3 proton of methyl group, shows the quartet. Look toward there is a 4 peaks. Okay, 4 multiplets, and here is a 3 CH3 proton combined with the 2 proton by the methylene group, shows the triplet. Then n+1 rule related to singlet, triplet or multiplet is like this. The number of peak in a multiplet can give additional information about the structure. The splitting of peak is caused by the neighboring carbon hydrogen atom. Proton is the same environment as said to be equivalent and as such behave as one proton. This follows the n+1 rule. N is a number of hydrogen atom attached to the next door carbon. N+1 is the how many peaks will be seen in the cluster. So friend, this is the example. This is for methyl group and this is for CH3 group. The apply n+1 rule here. Okay, very good. You will be get n+1, 3+1 is 4. Here is a quartet, and this is the triplet. This 1, 2, 3. 1 bromopropane. Then n plus rule applied to all the 2 methylene and 1 methyl group. Then red CH2, 1 plus 2, yeah, triplet is shown here. Okay, and it is a downfield shift, means higher delta value than others. Why? Because this red methylene group is directly attached to electron withdrawing bromine atom. Then look toward the blue CH2 group. That group shows the 3 plus 5, 6 state. Okay, multiplies. Why? Because n plus rule, and the same thing. I hope you understand. So friend, in this presentation we are almost studied very important points like chemical shift and shielding, de-shielding effect, anisotropic effect, how to prepare solvent, proton environment, shield and downfield and upfield. Okay, in our next presentation I will be sent some examples which are based on NMR, and the remaining portion we will be discussed by Blackboard teaching. Thank you very much.